Hi, I'm Tom from Swallows Racing.
I'm Dale from Meguiars UK.
So we're up at Cafe in the Machine for the first Young Enthusiast meet, and we've got a bit of an insight to Dale's Jag. So I'm going to fire a couple of questions, but the first thing is, why a Jag? Obviously, we're a Jag specialist.
Yep.
To me, that is something that I would see as a car that I'd want to modify.
Correct.
But why yourself?
Yeah, so for me, I've always been drawn to, like, no offence to any Jag owners, but like ugly duckling cars.
Yeah.
And I just love the culture of Jags, and now luckily working for Meguiars, I've been exposed to that car culture, and what I did notice was the passion for modifications.
Yeah.
There's not many kind of club cultures where they encourage people to play with their cars, and with the Jag culture, I think there is a lot of that.
Yeah.
And when I had the opportunity to build a car for the brand, I always wanted to take the style cues of an S-type and kind of Photoshop what an old one would look like now.
Yeah.
Because we both know that they're reminiscent of the old 60s, 70s style. And yeah, I just wanted to go nuts on a car that no one else has yet.
Yeah, because you're pretty clear on the vision the whole way through. So from us as a company, it was quite easy with someone like yourself, because you want to do a Mark 1 racer, really. That was the kind of build plan, but in a modern day form. So
yeah, it's the curse of an overthinker. So I came to you fully knowing my plan, and luckily with you guys managed to show me some things I didn't know.
Yeah.
And yeah, I didn't have the budget for a Mark 1 or a Mark 2.
It came up in a few conversations.
It came up, yeah. And it all stems from watching Grant Williams go full sideways around Goodwood. And I was like, that's...
rolling burnout.
Yeah, exactly that. And I was like, oh, Jag owners can be a bit naughty. And
they've always known as the bank robber car.
They are known as the bank robber car. Yeah, and not just the swingers or anything like that. And I really wanted just to embrace. I've been very much embedded in the kind of youth UK car scene with my job and the cars we've built in the past. And I just wanted to branch out and embrace another culture. And if I could do that with some new stylings and some new approaches, and a car built for social media, because it was.
Which I think is new to the Jag scene as well.
Correct.
It's not something you see every day.
No, and we're lucky that the club is progressive. They like new ways of doing things, as you know.
Yeah.
And I was not sure if I was going to be chased out the village, pitchforks at the ready, or embraced.
I mean, that's a really good point, because we did quite a few Zoom calls, because obviously there was COVID had come about, and we did a few pictures, and we were kind of hoping for some aggressive comments, but it actually went down quite well.
Yeah. What you want as a car enthusiast or as a car builder is an extreme reaction. You want people to either love it or hate it, because either way they're going to go to with their friends and say, look, I hate this car because of this, or I love this car because of this. What we don't want is just that's cool. Yeah. You do want an extreme reaction. That's why we had to go extreme with some of the modifications, like the wheels. Yeah. The wheels are worth more than the entire car was when it was probably new, but no one ever does that to an S-type. No one's going to put 3-piece custom wheels that didn't exist.
Yeah, they were a one-off, weren't
They're
they?
one-off.
Made from a solid lump of billet.
Yeah, so worked with Image wheels, and I said, look, you can't have a car with this styling without Dunlop style racing wheels. It's the law.
They're an absolute bang on.
It's the must.
Replica, aren't they?
Exactly that, and it's just them, and like the whole theme of the car, photoshopped. Everything's just bigger, wider, louder.
The classic Mark 1 has a large tyre, this has got a large wheel.
Yeah.
It's a bit more modern take on it.
Exactly, so I come from the cars before were very stanced out, small tyres on the floor. I wanted to go completely away from that. It's not on air. It's 3-piece. It's fully custom suspension from Bilstein, two-way adjustable. It's all tyre. When you see it,
OEM Jag as well, which is
correct.
Nice to put a bespoke setup on that car.
Exactly, and when you're following it or it's behind you, all you see is tyre, and that's all I wanted. Like the old racing cars in the 60s and 70s were so aggressive with their big tyres and steel wheels. I just wanted that. Have they upgraded the performance? Probably not. They'll probably slow the car down, but they look good, and style is everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this build had to be substance as well as style. So working with you guys, making sure that everything underneath, was mechanically sound, was the key component.
Yeah, because we started with a completely bog standard S-type. You just went off and bought, didn't you?
Yeah, I picked the first one I saw.
First one, yeah. What is it they say? Never buy the first car.
Yeah, and they had 3 there, but I like the grey one, the plucky grey one. Yeah,
but it was
I got lucky.
A really good car. They do suffer from corrosion a couple of bits, but it was a properly good example.
Yeah, it'd been looked after. It had many owners, but each owner had spent money on it.
It seems to be the way with most of these supercharged cars. It's like a short window of ownership.
Yeah, when they realise how much it costs to run.
Yeah, and the licence situation generally.
Yeah, it's the only car I've ever seen where you actively just see the needle move without you even being aggressive.
Yeah.
But no, I love it, and it's definitely what you find with the S-types is not even Jag owners are precious about S-types. No one's really that opinionated on them, but people who know that there's a supercharged V8 model know.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's really
there's not many
surprising.
people that are aware that there is one. I mean, it's a, what, 0-60, 5.3 seconds, something like that. It's
Yeah.
quite a capable car stock.
Yeah, and you know, it's pretty tasty when I first got it. It was quite wafty, and I wanted aggression, and you guys made it aggressive with a short and pulley on the supercharger, the Max Racing ECU. But the biggest thing was the thing you told me you were just doing, which was the manual swap.
Yeah, that was actually a benefit of COVID, wasn't it? 'Cause
yeah.
obviously, being a car care brand, that wasn't your initial build profile to do performance, was it? That was something that we kind of threw into the mix that we as a company wanted to do. And still, as far as I know, it's the only one that's been completed in road form with all the original components working.
It's the only road-going manual S-type R.
Yeah, which is quite a statement.
It's pretty sweet, And there's many people that will look around the car and not notice that it's a manual for a certain reason, but then there's those chosen few that look round it and went, oh my God, it's a supercharger and it's manual.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the M3 killer, for sure.
No, it is, and I think that's a statement to the build, isn't it? Because it looks like an OEM car. It's almost like it should have come out of the factory.
Yeah.
I mean, one of my kind of favourite aspects was the rear arches, because everyone misses that, don't they? Same with the rear door handle. Most people don't actually notice it, and to me that's the perfect modification when it's not even noticed.
Yeah, for me the best modifications are the ones that whisper, not the ones that just shout out to you. So yes, the front wings are actually rear wings, or have I got that wrong way around? No, sorry. The rear wings are from front. Right?
Yeah. We basically, the body shop essentially took a front wing.
That's it, and put it on the back, because they're naturally wider on the front.
So that meant they could keep it all within the original body form, and then they also used the original wing line to weld and fabricate the rear door to keep that original as well.
Exactly that, yeah. So if you look down the side, you'll notice that there's no rear door handle, just to give it a slicker, kind of cleaner look. And quite sacrilegious, an S-type R comes with a spoiler. I got rid of that.
You got rid of all the S-type.
Yeah, all the S-type R things that make it cool. Got rid of the badges. So a key thing for me is I like all my show builds. They always have like all rear red lights and no badges. Yeah. I just like that kind of look. And we got rid of the Jaguar logo on the grille. But when you look at it now, it's got such an open, aggressive, wide mouth.
It's much cleaner, isn't it?
Much cleaner. And then there's things like the 01. For anyone that doesn't know, the 01 is the year that Meguiars started. Now, these builds are not just for me, they're for the brand. And like you said earlier, there's things that take precedent over other things. So for us, it needs to have an amazing paint job, and needs to be detailed, and needs to be glossy, and it needs to go to car shows and look great. And then the benefit to everything else is it drives incredible as well. There's nowhere this gets trailer to. It's driven everywhere.
No, it's used. And I mean, well, you drove it up here today, didn't you?
Exactly that. It's been to Scotland, it's been to Holland and back. It's been all around the place. And there's little things like a race car typically has all the stickers everywhere. I again, thinking about the brand, it needs to be clean and slick. So on the 01 circle is all the shadowed logos of the brands that have all helped.
Yeah, because there's a huge amount of brands involved, isn't there?
Massive amount of brands. Like when people first found out I was doing S-type, there's the typical why. Yeah. And then when I laid it out and showed people, it wasn't until things started happening and I showed them the wheels and showed them what was going on with things, people were like, oh, okay, we'll get on this. Yeah, exactly. And there's some connections you guys have made with some brands like Tarox and stuff like that.
It's been great for us for that. Cobra as well, we're now working with those. And
exactly.
I mean, there's some great products on the car, isn't
there? Yeah, like the seats, I went to Cobra and said, what are your biggest, most obnoxious seats? And they gave me
can't see anything.
You can't see anything, but love it, it's illegal. But yeah, and it's just a fun car, it's a fun build. It goes to kind of like classic car shows like the JC events and stuff like that and the NEC Motor Show. But it also goes to Players Classic at Goodwood. Yeah. I think it's really bridged that gap between something that's seen as an old. It can sit with anything, and it's not really ticking anyone's boxes.
No, sure.
And when you build something that's that different, everyone kind of like will just look at it. It's not fully committed to a certain style. Yes, it's a Jag and it's done in a very Jag way, but I think it's brought people along to a bit of heritage and kind 100%. Of educate them on that one.
I mean, even down to the steering wheel, it was like key for the motor liter to replicate in a modern version.
Exactly that.
Every part of that build is sort of arcing back to the original Mark 1 to the Le Mans days of what everyone can remember.
Exactly that. We stripped out all the internals because it needed to smell and sound like a race car. So when you get in, it smells like fuel and everything like that because it needs to be exciting. Yeah. And you need to like click into a proper like seatbelt setup.
Race harness
and everything. But then there's other things. So like it's got an integrated double head unit. in it.
Yeah.
And
It's got
we've
a few creature comforts.
it's got a
hasn't
few
it?
creature comforts, you know. It's got the AC still. You know, it's got nice speakers that we've kind of hidden in the back because
Yeah.
it still needs to look like a race car. You know, it's got the carbon door cards.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
and
got the kind of door pulls to
door
match as
pulls,
well, and
so
that-
it feels exciting when you get in it. And anyone that like comes in passenger, it's a bit of an event getting in it. I mean, there's an event getting in it, like for anything, but like being in it, it's just fun. It's a driver's car,
Yeah.
and that's exactly what it was built to be.